Welcome into the Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I'm Namath Pitts. We welcome you in on this Thursday afternoon. We have officially almost reached the end of the week. Today we've got a great show in store for you guys. We're going to preview every area softball tournament that's coming up that features our East Alabama teams here in Calhoun, Cleveland County, in the Etowah-Gadsden area. Also, we're going to go ahead and take a glimpse at the first round of the state playoffs for soccer that involves teams here in East Alabama, whether that's here in Calhoun, Cleveland County, or Etowah in the Gadsden area. So I've made brackets for each team for the area tournaments and for the first round of the state playoffs. We're going to talk about players specifically, talk about teams specifically, where draws are in terms of competition in the area tournament or the state playoffs for soccer. And then tomorrow, we're going to have highlights of the Donahoe Falcons baseball team's second round of the state playoffs, which are being played right now, actually, as we speak. They're up at the mountain right behind me, where they are hosting Whitesburg Christian in the second round. We'll have highlights of that. Tomorrow, also we'll have highlights of Cleveland County's senior night for soccer. So we'll have both of that tomorrow to finish the week. Hey, I want to remind you to hit that like and follow button on our East Alabama Now page so that you do not miss the Locker Room. We're here every weekday, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Also tonight, we have our East Alabama Now news at 6:30 p.m. Mike Stedham and Katie Edwards have your local news. John Holder has your local weather, and I'll bring you your local sports. All right, let's get right into the action. We have no EAN scoreboard today because yesterday was Wednesday. We did not have any games that took place here in East Alabama, but we are going to look at area softball tournaments as we approach regionals. But in order to get to regionals, you have to finish top 2 in your area. So we're going to take a look at some area softball tournaments. We're going to start in Class 1A. We're going to work our way up to 4A in this segment and then pick back up in the next segment. So let's start with Class 1A Area 10. That is the first area softball tournament that we're going to take a look at. So we'll go ahead and show you guys what that tournament looks like right here. So the Ragland Purple Devils are going to be the host team for the 1A Area 10 tournament. Now, I got to tell you, Ragland obviously has had a really incredible year this year. I believe there was a tie at the top of this specific area, so it came down to tiebreaker situation in order to determine who was going to get to host the area tournament. But ultimately, Ragland did get the nod, so they're going to be the ones that gets to host the area tournament. So they're going to be the 1, and they're going to face the 4, which is TCC. By the way, if you did not know, TCC is shutting down. So this is their final year. This will be the final, I guess you could say, tournament for TCC. So they're shutting down their school. So TCC will no longer be open after this season. Coosa Christian and Winneboro are the 2. So Coosa Christian and Ragland both tied. They both went 5-1 in 1A Area 10. But Ragland got the nod. So Ragland's the 1 seed. Coosa Christian's the 2. Winneboro is the 3. And TCC is the 4. Both Ragland and Coosa went 5-1. I look at Ragland. Obviously, Paige McMurray is really good on the mound for the Purple Devils. Offensively, Sabrina Rogers and Beverly Alexander contribute a lot offensively. For Coosa Christian, they have a lot of players that contribute. Lexi Reese, Jillian Delp, Malia Crane, Caitlin Claw, and Maya Ellen. So those are a couple players to keep an eye on in this area. So 1A Area 10 is at Ragland. Ragland's the 1 seed. Coosa Christian is the 2. Let's stay in 1A, but let's move over to Area 11. In Area 11, this tournament is going to be at Spring Garden. And so Spring Garden is the 1. So they're obviously going to host. Spring Garden's a top 10 team in the state. They have had a great season so far. So they're going to be the 1. They went 4-0, they went 6-0 in this area. Jacksonville Christian Academy is 2nd. Cedar Bluff is 3rd, and then Faith Christian is 4th. Now, Cedar Bluff actually put a thumping on JCA. They played just a week ago, and Cedar Bluff beat them pretty bad, so you could really just say that whichever, 2-3. So looking at this area, though, obviously what sticks out to me for Spring Gardens, Olivia Law. Avery Stewart is really good for them pitching-wise and hitting. Addie Word, Helena Ingram, Lily McCain, Maggie Jarrett are a couple players that have been really good for Spring Garden. I look at Faith Christian, who they're going to be playing the 4 seed. Anna Kate Robertson and Ella Stewart have been good for them. Looking at the JCA and Cedar Bluff matchup, you got to keep an eye on Sienna Smith, Kylie Vadon, Ansley Evans, Riley Walker, and Anna Henderson. And then for JCA, really Callie Sexton and Addie Lee are the 2 for JCA. But looking at 1A Area 11, that'll be at Spring Garden. Expect to the top 2 is what's going to advance to regionals. All right, let's move to 2A Area 9. 2A Area 9 is going to be at Pleasant Valley. Coach Bryant's team actually is the host school, so they get a bye. So they are automatically in the championship game, which means they are automatically at regionals. And they're going to play the winner of Woodland and Ranburne. For Pleasant Valley, there's a lot of players that Coach Bryant feels really good about. Madison Cromer, Lily Henry, Alexa Cramner, Gracie Ward, Lily Robinson, Jordan Cheatwood, Aubrey Cromer. Just a very depth-heavy team. This is a team that's got a lot of depth, really good players. Coach Bryant's team still feels like they're probably not playing their best ball yet. They're going to look to do that when they play the winner of Woodland and Ranburne. And speaking of Woodland and Ranburne, you look at the meetings that these two teams had in the regular season, they actually split with each other. So both of them lost by Pleasant Valley. They split in the regular season. Winner of that will play Pleasant Valley for the 2A Area 9 championship game. All right, moving to 3A, looking at 3A Area 10. And Piedmont and Weaver actually split, but Piedmont is going to get to host the area tournament, so Piedmont will get the 1 seed. They will play Sachs, who's the 4. Coach Fulmer's Weaver Bearcats are the 2 seed. They will play Welborn, who is the 3. Obviously, for Piedmont, you look at Savannah Smith on the mound. Both of these teams have probably 2 of the top pitchers in 3A. Piedmont, Savannah Smith, Weaver, Kinley Fulmer. You look at for Piedmont, though, batting-wise, Ava Pope, J.C. Glover, Kayla Brothers, Casey Brothers. Just a couple players that have been really, really instrumental for them. And for Weaver, outside of Kinley Fulmer, you look at Sydney Bitzer, Alana Cooper, Peyton Marvesty. Those ladies have had some big seasons for Weaver. And there's more, of course, to both teams, but that's kind of what sticks out to me when I look at 3A Area 10. So this will be at Piedmont. I would expect to see Piedmont and Weaver. Welborn and Sachs have both had to kind of been both teams have been young, kind of trying to regroup this season. And so 3A Area 10 tournaments at Piedmont. Piedmont gets the 1 seed. Them and Weaver tied in the regular season. Let's stay in 3A, but let's look at 3A Area 11. So Hoax Bluff is the 1 seed in 3A Area 11. They're led by Peyton Ward on the mound. Abby Payne, Chloe Dodd, Lacey Grace Hall, and Sophia Jackson are a couple players that are really good for Hoax Bluff. And then the 2 seed, the 2-3 game, I should say, features Ohatchee and Glencoe. And if I'm not mistaken, those 2 teams during the regular season had a couple games that went back and forth. So I look at Glencoe, Case Willett, Abby Bunt, Aubrey Maxwell, Emma Croy. Summer Crump is a really good pitcher for Glencoe, also a really good hitter. And Jordan Morris for Ohatchee. Coach Poe's team led by Brianna Martin, Savannah Reeves, Mackenzie Luna, Lexi Thomas, Alana Fitch, Ellie Carden headed to Gadsden State. And Jordan Faulkner can pitch for them as well. It'll be really good. So going to be interesting to see between Ohatchee and Glencoe who can get that spot in regionals, because both of these teams are used to making it to regionals. They have a long history of making regionals, but only one of them can make it. So Hoax Bluff, though, gets the bye. They're automatically at regionals. They're going to play the winner of Ohatchee and Glencoe. All right, let's look at 4A Area 10. This is going to be the last area that we look at in this segment. Obviously, White Plains is the 1. Jacksonville is the 2. Cleveland County is Anniston is 3-4. White Plains will be the 1. This will be at White Plains. They'll play Anniston. Obviously, Leighton Arnold's one of the best pitchers in 4A. You got Callie Richardson, Cassidy Arnold, Cooper Martin. Carly Otwell has been hot here of lately with the bat, hit a couple home runs. Sarah Kate Adams, Carly Fritz has been really good for White Plains. So they have a couple players that are playing really good at the right time. For Coach Ashley and the Jacksonville Golden Eagles, you look at Tia Evans, solid pitcher for them. Dalen Wood, Lacey Barnes, Jahina Ingram's been playing really good softball here of late for Jacksonville, and Libby Strain. So those are kind of the 2 I look at, Cleveland County and Anniston there. I do feel like you're kind of looking at White Plains and Jacksonville, but 2 teams are going to clinch a spot at regionals, and that'll be determined over the course of the next couple days into early next week. So those are just some of our area softball brackets and where things stand. But we still have 4A Area 12. We have 5A Area 10, 5A Area 13, and 6A Area 12. So we still have 4 more softball brackets we're going to look at. Then we're going to take a look at some soccer playoff brackets, talk a little bit about soccer the rest of the way. So, hey, we continue on the Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Can I help make pancakes, Dad?
Of course, buddy.
I absolutely love these cabinets we have here in our showroom. And as much as you like these right here, the options on this kitchen over here, I think you're going to... For real, Randall?
I love this kitchen.
Let's do a kitchen makeover in your home.
Fair enough.
Seriously, guys?
We made you one.
Okay. We ought to do this more often.
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. Steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you the locker room each and every day. Ted's Floors and Beyond has all your flooring needs, whether it's hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile, or luxury vinyl. They have it for you right there at Ted's. You can go by their showroom there in Anniston. You can pick out what you like, want, and need, and they can do it right there at Ted's. Also, they've got their partnership with Weber Cabinet and will offer you a complete kitchen or bath makeover. That includes cabinets, countertops, flooring, backsplashes, or tile showers. They can get it done right there at Ted's Floors and Beyond. And now they offer you work on your outdoor space, whether it's an outdoor kitchen, patio, or living space. They have specially made outdoor tiles and stones that can enhance your outdoor experience. Go by and see them today at their showroom in Anniston on Highway 431, right before you get to Sykes Elementary School, or visit them online at shopteds.com. That is shopteds.com. Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you the locker room. We continue on this Thursday afternoon here in East Alabama. We are talking area softball tournaments because they are starting up this weekend, continuing into early next week. Also next week, we have the state playoffs starting for soccer. For local teams, we actually do have an area, the first round starting tonight in 6A for one local team, Gadsden City. We're going to talk more about them in just a minute. But we're going to pick back up in our area softball preview, and we're going to go back to Class 4A, but we're going to look at 4A Area 12. Now, 4A Area 12, that tournament is going to be held at Cherokee County High School. They're going to be the host team for 4A Area 12. So let's show you guys how that bracket looks for 4A Area 12. And you see it right here. Cherokee County is the 1 seed. Now, Cherokee County obviously finished on the top in terms of 4A Area 12. They went undefeated. And then you had Aniana and finished the 2, Etowah the 3, and Asheville was the 4. For Cherokee County, Grayson Tucker is their ace. She does a really good job throwing the ball. You also look at Emma Hill, Bristol Bass, Audrey Haygood, Anna Walker, and Lainey Williams. Just a couple players for Cherokee County. Then you look at Etowah. Etowah's a solid team as well. Had a little bit of a skid midseason, but kind of starting to come out of it right here at the right time. But you look at Andrelia Summerford, Bella Owen, Lauren Farmer, Kylie Wilder, and Maggie Bennett are a couple players for Etowah. So Cherokee County is the host team. The top 2 from 4A Area 12 will advance to regionals. And so that is 4A Area 12. Looking at 5A Area 10 that features one of our local teams, Alexandria is the host school, but they also get the bye. Therefore, they are automatically going to regionals in Albertville. But they'll play the winner of Lincoln and Central Clay. But not focusing so much on Lincoln and Central Clay, focusing on Coach Hess's team at Alexandria, who has probably the most depth I've seen from a local team in a long time. You got Presley Slayton on the mound. Not only can she beat you pitching the ball, she can beat you at the plate. You look at Christian Hess, who's a senior. Jill Cockrell is a senior. Look at Charlie Paris. You look at Alyssa Hunt. I mean, what Alyssa Hunt does with a bat in her hand is unbelievable. Then you look at Callie Hess, who's young. Bailey Elston, Brinley Sparks, Caden Pritchett. And there's even more than that, guys. The depth for Alexandria is unbelievable. They're hosting the 5A Area 10 tournament. They've already clinched a spot in regionals. They await the winner of Lincoln and Central Clay. Staying in Class 5A, though, let's look at Southside. They will host 5A Area 13. For Southside, Jalen Allen is obviously who you're going to see on the mound, particularly for Southside, who's had a really good season this year. J.C. Brooks is one of the top offensive leaders for them when it comes to at the plate. They're going to play Douglas, who's the 4. And then looking at the other matchup on the other side of the bracket, you look at Sardis and Boaz. And looking at Sardis, by the way, Sardis has a couple players that are really good. Barrett Sneed, Presley Hubbard, Peyton Burrell, just to name a couple. Southside they swept this area. Sardis finished 2, Boaz finished 3, and Douglas 4. By the way, Sardis' only losses were to Southside, so they had already took care of business against Boaz. Douglas did not win a game in this area. All right, so that is 5A Area 13. That takes us to 6A. And our Oxford Yellow Jackets, Coach McKibben's team, is at home at Choccolocco Park. They are the 1 seed. So they're going to play Gadsden City, who finished at the bottom of this area. And then on the other matchup on the other side will be Clay Chalkville and Pell City. So those are that's going to be the 2-3 matchup. Again, I don't want to really focus on Clay Chalkville or Pell City as much, or even Gadsden City, but look at the depth that Coach McKibben's team has. I think they'll even tell you, even though they're hosting the area tournament and looking to make regionals, I think they would even tell you that they probably not played their best softball of the season yet. Now, you feel really good with Berkeley Mooney on the mound. There's not a question about that. Ashlyn Burns is a phenomenal player for Oxford. You look at their depth, though. You look at whether it's Deja Wilson, Emma Timms-Becerra, Madison Murphy, Jamia Gaston, Charlie Trotter, Kaylin Crosley. There's even more than just that you could put in the lineup, and they're going to find a way to do damage for Oxford. I feel good about them coming out of this area for sure and making it to regionals in Albertville. But they're going to have to go through Gadsden City first to clinch a spot that would get them in the area championship game. And so that is 6A Area 12 at Choccolocco Park. All right, so that means that basically teams that can start tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, and they have to finish their area tournaments. It's either by next Thursday. Could be Tuesday. But they have until then to get their area tournaments wrapped up, get the final results into the state, so they can start building the regional brackets. Now, you may be wondering, where are our teams headed locally for regionals? Well, I thought maybe some would be in Montgomery, some would be here, but it seems as if every area that features a local team that we just went through for Calhoun and Cleveland County, and Etowah, they're headed to Albertville. So I will be in Albertville, and that's going to be the week of May 6th through the 10th. So that week, I believe it's the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. It's Monday through Thursday. I will be in Albertville that whole week. So that week, we will not be in studio. I will be broadcasting from Albertville's park, where I'm going to have the most up-to-date highlights, unlike anybody else. And that's not the prediction. That's a spoiler. So that's what you're going to get when the regionals rolls around. I'll be in Albertville. We'll be busting our tail to make sure we highlight these ladies. And by the way, I did not realize that we've done a lot of scores. We've done a lot of interviews, but we did not have much softball highlights this season. I didn't notice that. So I do apologize to our local softball teams. But again, I will be at regionals. I'll be at state, and we'll certainly be covering some teams. I'll look at Coach Hess's Alexandria Valley Cubs. Look at Coach Rachel Smith's Piedmont Bulldogs. How about Coach Fulmer's Weaver Bearcats? Been coming on here of late. You look at Coach Muncher's White Plains Wildcats, have all the talent in the world, certainly, to make a push. Coach McKibben's team has some experienced players in Berkeley Mooney, Ashlyn Burns. You look at Spring Garden, certainly going to make a deep run in Class 1A. So we will certainly have a lot of teams to cover up in Albertville. All right, hey, the state soccer playoffs start tonight in 6A for Gadsden City. But for the Donahoe Falcons ladies, we're going to talk ladies first, then we'll talk guys. We're going to start with our Class 1A through 3A girls bracket, and then look at Class 4A this segment, and then pick back up in the next segment. So let's talk about Coach Melton's Donahoe Falcons, who have been phenomenal this season. Let's go ahead and show you what their first-round matchup looks like and who their potential second-round matchup could be. So Donahoe is going to play at home next week on April 30th. So that is next Tuesday, by the way, if you did not know that. And they're going to play at home against the Knights of Altamont out of Birmingham. So Altamont is going to make the trip to Anniston to the mountain to play the Donahoe Falcons. And on the other side is Westminster Oak Mountain, and they are going to play Collinsville. obviously, guys, you look at Donahoe, again, talking about depth. Coach Melton has a lot of depth. Obviously, they are dangerous. Aaron Turley is phenomenal, headed to UAH. Anna Kate Wallace has been a big addition for them. You look at Zoe Christopher, who's a senior, has that senior leadership. Sam Wakefield's only a junior, will be back for them next year. And guys, there's even more outside of just those players that I mentioned. So we are going to be at Donahoe next Tuesday night. I'll be there for the first round of state playoffs where they'll play Altamont. We'll have highlights of that game next Wednesday. But the Donahoe Falcons are playing Altamont. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Altamont. They've been struggling here late. They're actually playing tonight against Gardendale. But if you look at them, they've lost 4 of their last 5 games. They're 6-7 on the season. So it has not necessarily been a successful season for them. They're not playing their best ball yet, and they have a tough task coming to Anniston to play Donahoe. For the Falcons, though, if they get past Altamont, they will play Westminster or Collinsville. If it were to be Collinsville, that game would be at home because it's an area team. If it is not Collinsville, then if it's Westminster, then they will head to Westminster because both teams were at home, and Westminster is at the top of the bracket. So Donahoe could be going to Westminster in the second round. They could be at home against Collinsville. It just depends on how that one shakes out. All right, now let's look at one more bracket before we take a break. Let's look at Class 4A. Let's look at girls soccer for 4A. And I'm looking at Jacksonville, who is going to be hosting Cherokee County as well next Tuesday night. And Westbrook Christian will be hosting White Plains. Now I'll look at Jacksonville. Obviously, Willa Kate Walker, Emerson Weaver, Lexi Page, Emma Easterling, and Kylie Terrell have been phenomenal for them. And actually, can we do one thing real quick? I apologize. Can we go back to the 1A through 3A? I want to go back to 1A through 3A because we talked about Donahoe, but we need to talk about Collinsville for a second because Collinsville has a couple players like Leslie Corona, who has 33 goals and 20 assists this season, and Camila Garcia, who has 19 goals and 4 assists on this year. I don't want to forget about Collinsville because that is a team, maybe not necessarily local, but plays in a local area, and so I forgot to mention that about Collinsville. All right, let's go back to 4A, talking about Jacksonville more. Jacksonville's defending county runner-up, went to penalty kicks, basically went to a shootout with Donahoe. And I look at Jacksonville again. I just kind of mentioned a couple players right there, but I don't think we talk enough about Willa Kate Walker. She has 31 goals this year. Jacksonville's one of the top teams in 4A. You look at Emerson Weaver, guys, she's only an 8th grader. She scored 23 goals this year, has 21 assists. And then you look at Sarah, I don't want to pronounce her name wrong, Sarah Slafai. She has 28 assists and 18 goals. So Jacksonville has some talent, guys, that does not need to be overlooked. I think this is a team that could be playing here in a couple of weeks after they've made a deep run in the playoffs. And so that's what sticks out to me about Jacksonville. I kind of look at them right here. Now, if Jacksonville wins the first round and Westbrook wins round 2, then Jacksonville actually, you know what? Matter of fact, if Jacksonville beats Cherokee County, they'll be home no matter what. White Plains would be an area opponent. Westbrook Christian would be at home. Jacksonville's at the top of the bracket. So if Jacksonville can get past Cherokee County, they will be at home in round 2 no matter what. All right, so that's where things sit in Class 4A. So we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to pick back up with the girls, but we're going to talk Class 5A, Class 6A. Then we're going to look at the boys, and that is what we've got going on the rest of the way as we continue on the Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Can I help make pancakes, Dad?
Of course, buddy.
I absolutely love these cabinets we have here in our showroom. And as much as you like these right here, the options on this kitchen over here, I think you're going to... For real, Randall?
I love this kitchen.
Let's do a kitchen makeover in your home.
Fair enough.
Seriously, guys?
We made you one.
Okay. We ought to do this more often.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
We continue on the Locker Room on this Thursday afternoon. I'm Namath Pitts. We have looked at all of the local area softball tournaments. We are now looking at the first round of the state playoffs for soccer. We talked Class 1A through 3A girls before the break, talked Class 4A before the break. We're going to pick back up now in Class 5A. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 5A girls bracket. We have one local team here, and that is Southside. The Panthers, they're going to go on the road in round one. They're going to play John Carroll Catholic, and that game is going to be on Monday. So that game's going to be Monday. Southside's going to hit the road. I look at Southside. Kenzie Carter leads the Panthers with 26 goals on the year. She has 18 assists as well for the Panthers. She's kind of their leading player. You have Kelsey Jackson, a really good defensive player for them. And Hannah Maddox, who's their goalie, has 88 saves this season. So that's not it, though. You look at Michaela Walker, 15 goals, 8 assists this year. So Southside's certainly talented. Going to be a tough task, though, going to John Carroll. John Carroll's been playing great as of late. Got a win over Altamont Tuesday night. So John Carroll's playing really good soccer at the right time. If Southside could get a win over John Carroll, then you look at a second-round matchup with either Springville or Moody. All right, let's take a look at Class 6A. Oxford plays in the same area as Gadsden City, but the Gadsden City girls are the area champions. They are going to be the one right there. They're going to be at home, and they're actually playing tonight. So the 6A girls playoff starts tonight. Gadsden City is at home tonight. They will be playing Decatur. You look at Gadsden City. Anna Claire Ashley has 5 goals with 2 assists, but you may go, well, Namath, that doesn't really seem like a lot. Well, how about 72 steals and tackles defensively? She has been a phenomenal defensive player for Gadsden City this season. And then, there's just more as well, but she's kind of the one that sticks out to me for Gadsden City. If the Titans can win tonight, then they will advance to the second round of the playoffs, where they are looking at either Hartselle or Fort Payne. They already beat Fort Payne. That was in their area. So if they get Fort Payne, it'd be at home. If it gets Hartselle, they'd be at home. Either way, Gadsden City would be at home in the second round. All right, let's look at the boys now. Let's shift back to 1A through 3A, but look at the boys. Same 4 teams from the girls, but different order. Donahoe boys are going to head on the road Monday. They're going to head to Birmingham to the Oak Mountain to face Westminster Oak Mountain. And then if they can get past them, they're looking at Collinsville or Altamont. And so for the Donahoe boys, I'll look at obviously Sam Johnson and Jack Thomas. Those are the 2 main guys that stick out to me when it comes to the boys for Donahoe. Looking at Collinsville, Aaron Herrera has 36 goals on the year, has 15 assists. Luis Miguel has 13 goals and 16 assists. So Collinsville's a really good team that won that area. But Donahoe, the Falcons, hit the road Monday as they head to Westminster Oak Mountain. All right, let's look at 4A for the boys. Same thing, same teams, same order as the girls. The Jacksonville boys will be at home next Tuesday as well. They'll play Cherokee County, same team. White Plains will travel to Westbrook Christian as well. Looking at the boys again, Jacksonville has had a good year. The girls obviously have kind of stolen the spotlight, but Jacksonville boys are not bad at all. They get Cherokee County. If they get past that, then they would be at home regardless of whether they play Westbrook Christian or White Plains in the second round. For White Plains as well, they've had a good year. Making the playoffs is certainly something that needs to be celebrated for White Plains. And so that is your 4A boys playoff bracket featuring the first 2 matchups. Let's move to 5A. You got Moody and Douglas will play on Tuesday. Southside will host John Carroll Catholic on Tuesday. And for Southside, Hayes Cosby is the leading goaltender for them. He has 5 shutouts on the year, 64 saves, has allowed only 15 goals this year. Caleb Ogle has 11 goals on the season. He's only played in 22 games, by the way. Cameron Thompson has got 45 goals on the season with 7 assists and has been really good for Southside. So the Panthers are at home. If Moody wins, then they'll hit the road in the second round. But if Douglas wins, then Southside would be at home in round 2. So they have to wait. But they get John Carroll Catholic at home next Tuesday at Southside. And then finally in 6A, Oxford boys were county champions. Had a great season, but they don't make the playoffs. It is Fort Payne and Gadsden City that come out of that area. Fort Payne will host Coleman, and that game will actually be on Saturday. So they will play Saturday. Fort Payne will host Coleman on Saturday. Tomorrow night on Friday, Gadsden City will head to Hartselle. You look at Gadsden City, Dimitri Guerrero has 17 goals and 7 assists on the year. Brandon Cervantes is probably their best player. He's really good defensively, 47 steals and tackles and 5 goals. And so Gaston City will play tomorrow night at Hartselle, and then Fort Payne and Coleman will play on Saturday. If Gaston City wins in round 1, they would have to head to Fort Payne if they play them. But if Coleman were to win, then both of those teams traveled. It would actually be, either way, Gaston City would have to hit the road in the second round. So that is your 6A boys state playoff records. Hey, all of our stats that we shared in terms of Gaston City, Southside, Collinsville, those were from the Gadsden Times. So, all right, we just want to thank you so much for watching the Locker Room today. I hope you enjoyed our preview of the area softball tournaments and of the soccer matchups for the first round. I've got to get to Donahoe. I'm probably have already missed a little bit of the first game. So I got to get to Donahoe. I hope you'll join me on East Alabama Now News at 6:30 p.m. tonight for more on local sports. And that'll do it for us today on the Locker Room. I hope you have a great afternoon. God bless. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the Locker Room presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.